What up, YouTube? This is Steven, and welcome back to another photo analysis. This time I'll be analyzing the covers of Sky High single Iris Light. So, let's begin with the CD-only version of the single cover. Alright, so when I first look at this cover, I noticed that this is a close-up, also known as a beauty shot, but I'll say a close-up. But yeah, it's a close-up shot of Sky High. And I noticed that he has his eyes closed. And, I think it's kind of difficult to, express emotion and intensity with your eyes closed. But I think Sky High is doing a good job of that. I think that he looks like he's in thought, in deep thought. Very pensive. I like the coloration in the photo. Usually, sometimes like grayish colors can come off as drab, but other times, it can actually work. And I think this is a time where, that color scheme works really well. And I noticed that Sky High is wearing a turtleneck. But, he has not lost his neck. He made sure not to lose his neck in the photo. So you can still see some neck in the photo. I think his hair is interesting. I think, I could take his hair like this or either all black. But I think like this gives it, maybe a little extra quality. But it would work either way. This photo would still work either way, with or without the hair color. I kind of am a little interested to see Sky High's face, like in total, like his total face, his whole face, without his hair covering his forehead. And I think that overall the light is hitting him really well. He's caught a little bit of shadow on the side, the right side. But overall, I think he has found the light. One criticism that I have, and it's not really a major criticism, but his lips sort of kind of look, slightly like, a duck's lips. A little bit because of the way he positioned his mouth. A little bit, But I think he can slide, I think it's just enough, It's right at the cusp of, Ducklet City, but he didn't quite cross over the county line. You know what I'm saying? Let's move on to the next single cover. The next single cover is the single cover for the CD plus DVD version A of the single. Alright, so here Sky High has his eyes open and he is staring directly at us, or at least the camera. And I noticed that he kind of lost his neck this time around. Although I do like the way that his face is photographing. I think he, if you look, he sort of lost his neck. And it's not just because he's wearing a turtleneck, but it's the way that you position, it's the way that he positions his head. You can wear a turtleneck and still have a neck, as we've seen before. But, because he has a turtleneck on, people might let it slide. People might not notice it and just be like, hey, he just has a really big turtleneck sweater on. Um, and I noticed that he has his hand in front of his mouth. And I kind of wish he would have tried something a little different. He could have incorporated his hand if, you know, he just felt compelled to do so. But I wish he would have done something a little different. One reason is because I feel like I would like to see his face as a whole. And when he covers his mouth, I don't get to see his face as a whole. Another reason is because I kind of wish that his if he um, if he really wanted to do this, then I really wish that his hands were a little bigger and a little more masculine looking. No shade. In fact, really, I have the same criticism about myself. So definitely no shade. But it's not a terrible photo. Definitely, I do think this is a really nice photo. Perhaps an alternative that I think he could have done and would have worked a little better is that maybe if he balled his hand into a fist and put the fist at maybe the side of his face, I think maybe that would have worked a little better. But overall, a very respectable photo. Let's move on to the next single cover. The next single cover is the single cover for the CD plus DVD version B. And again, we have another close-up shot. And here you can kind of see a little bit more of his neck this time around. So he didn't totally turn into a no-neck monster here. And I noticed that, Sky High is staring us straight down. He's just staring us down in this photo. And I think that the light has hit his face well. Um, his mouth looks looks nice in the photo as well. The hair is cool. Um, but overall, I guess one criticism that I have is just that this photo is a little generic in comparison to the previous photos that we've seen. And I think it's just because there is nothing in particular that is kind of maybe outside of the box, so to speak, a little creative, you know. But overall, I do think this is a really respectable photo. Perhaps he could have positioned his hair so that we could see his forehead, so we could see, his face as a whole. I think that may be something that he could have done. That could have been something that he could have done to sort of help give the photo more of a special quality. Because I think ultimately, that's the issue that I have with the photo, is that it lacks a special quality in comparison to the previous photos. But overall, like I said before, it's a very respectable photo. Let's move on to the final photo. The final photo is a promotional photo for the single. And here we get to see Sky High, um, you know, from, well, like a body shot of Sky High. I like the outfit and the color of the outfit that he's wearing. Sky High to me has a bit of a quirky look that I think works really well when it comes to photography. You know, I would almost dare to say that he is like, a Japanese male version of Allison Harvard. Um, but I kind of wish he would have done a different pose. Also, he lost his arm in the photo too. I can't see his the arm on the right. I can't see it, and I don't like the position of his leg. It looks a tad feminine, you know. So I wish he would have chosen, or I wish he would have done a different pose for this photo. But I think this photo sort of works from maybe the waist up. But it's not a terrible photo, but um, it has its issues. It has some issues. Well, let me tell you how I rank these photos. All right. I rank the CD only version of the single cover as the best photo because I like the eyes closed look. I think, despite his eyes being closed, he's telling a story. It's making me intrigued. You know, I think that was a good call on whoever thought of the idea. The second best photo is the CD plus DVD version A of the single. I like the idea and the concept of the hand in front of the face, but you know, the result is more or less like it's not. It's a respectable result. You know? But for me, what sells this photo is its originality. Its special quality. Yeah. And I think he obtained that with the hand in the face, well, around the mouth area. But I think he could have positioned his hand a little better. So at least we could see his nose. The third best photo is the CD plus DVD version B. I think this is a respectable photo, but overall, for me, it lacks a special quality in comparison to the previous photos that I've mentioned. Um, but overall, in the big scheme of things, this photo does have originality because of Sky High's quirky face. But just in comparison to the previous photos, it sort of falls short for me. Um, the fourth best photo is the promotional photo. Um, I like that he's giving us 3/4 profile. I like the outfit. I like the coloration of the photo as well. The hair color is okay. Um, but I would like to see both arms, and I would like for him to try a different pose. So there you have it. Feel free to comment. Feel free to subscribe. Feel free to give me a thumbs up. Your feedback and support are extremely appreciated and extremely valued. Into the next photo analysis, adios and goodbye for now.